Godzilla, wrathful legend of Odo Island. Mothra, queen of the MonsterVerse. To be given the title of god, a being must have not only unimaginable power, but imbue the population with unrelenting awe. Awe that could embody destruction like the Godzilla from -1, or bestow hope like that of Mothra from the MonsterVerse. Which leads me to question, would death or hope prove stronger if these deities met? Who would win if Godzilla clashed against Mothra? For this theoretical fight, there'll be no outside Titan interference, so no legendary Godzilla to come to Mothra's aid. There will also be no terrain advantage, so this will not be a battle in the middle of the ocean, which would favor Godzilla, for instance. With those factors said, let's dive into the strengths, weaknesses, history, and abilities of these two divine beasts. Off the waters of Odo Island, a living myth resided for generations. Dead fish would forewarn the dinosaurs' arrival, while immediate retribution would befall any hostile action taken against the territorial 15-meter-tall saurian. So in 1946, when the Baker test of Operation Crossroads exposed the dinosaur to blinding, superheated radiation, a new entity, standing over 50 meters tall and tens of thousands of tons heavier, arose from the depths. Godzilla. Now the key to Godzilla's survival of the Baker test and his more than likely hundreds of millions of years of experience, because yes, he's a purely natural creature, derives from his rapid cellular regeneration. It's undeniably insane. Wounds which would cripple other monsters, even other Godzillas, are a minor inconvenience to this wrathful god. Meaning even the Takau's 22-inch guns or 75mm rounds from tanks won't do much, leaving the only question being, how will he destroy those who cross him? Claws, teeth, a dorsal spine tail, this Godzilla will use everything and anything to take out his vengeance upon humanity, all while his body quickly repairs any and all damage he suffers in the process. Even having his face blown off or getting crushed by a rapid descent to 1500 meters will just stoke the reptile's anger further and further, until that blistering rage is unleashed in a devastating azure form, the atomic ray. While a beam of plasma like other Godzillas, -1's ray is less laser-like and acts more like a laser pointer, as in point to the target and watch it get vaporized by a hydrogen bomb level explosion. An explosion that leaves 6 kilometers of desolation after a full charge. The Takao, Ginza, each were vaporized thoroughly, but due to the blowback, Godzilla can't unleash multiple blasts in quick succession. He needs to heal between shots, or risk his body falling apart from the energy coursing through his veins. A weakness humanity ultimately exploited to halt Godzilla's warpath, if only temporarily. So beware the myth of Odo Island, for if his shadow falls upon you, know that no prayer will spare you. Azure light will mark your doom, your fate sealed forever in a tomb of ash. Thousands of kilometers beneath the crust lay a hidden subterranean world filled with monstrous titans. Here, in this hollow earth, lives a protective god that has safeguarded humanity throughout the ages. Mothra. Titaness Mothra may be small by Titan standards, standing at a mere 15 meters, but like her monstrous wingspan of 244 meters, her perseverance and power are undeniable. Sporting the eyes of MonsterVerse Godzilla upon her wings, she is the Alpha Second, the one which balances the world by his side. A true queen of the monsters that has been around just as long as Godzilla, thanks to her genetic immortality. See, when Mothra lays an egg, her memories transfer to the larva, essentially cloning herself so she will always be able to fight when there is a time of crisis. This is what happened in Godzilla King of the Monsters. When Ghidorah was freed, the Mothra which awakened, bested Rodan, and sacrificed herself to give Godzilla the edge was a child of the original Mothra who we see within the Hollow Earth in Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. They're essentially the same being, powers included. Like the God Rays, a shining, brilliant burst of light which humbled Ghidorah's storm with its majestic glow. Though the God Rays can humble Titans too, they knocked around evolved Godzilla and even stunned Shimo. Mothra also has access to her larva form's webbing, which is tough enough to constrict not only the great apes of the Hollow Earth, but most impressively, King Ghidorah, the same three-headed titan that was exceeding supercharged Godzilla's strength on multiple occasions. With such a durable silk, it's no wonder why Mothra has so many lethal physical traits like her multiple scythes and stinger. Immobile prey is the easiest and safest to strike, which is Mothra's main concern in a fight due to her relative frailty. While she can trade blows with the likes of Rodan, the Moan Demon's volcanism led to severe burns across her body. Not to mention, Ghidorah's gravity beams did vaporize her in her entirety, while leaving little lasting damage on other titans like Rodan or Godzilla. But even when Godzilla is outmatched, or when times are at their most dark, perhaps the Queen of the Monsters will appear in a flash of golden light, a god willing to bestow hope when humanity or other titans have none to call their own. So when gods of wrath and benevolence clash, who comes out on top? Well, to decide the victor, let's run through their corresponding strengths to see which has the edge. Starting with a trait that neither have an outright advantage in, we have intelligence. Each monster showed the ability to think, like Mothra guiding humanity to her universe's Godzilla, or -1's Godzilla figuring out the weapon which mutated him was ultimately created by humanity. Each are far from brainless or purely reactionary beings, so this advantage won't go to either titan. Next, we'll move on to the most obvious advantages of the two, durability and endurance, with each easily going to Godzilla. While yes, the Legend of Odo Island's regenerative properties can eventually be overwhelmed, the threshold to reach that point is quite vast, meaning Godzilla can sustain a host of fatal injuries without tiring or being put down. On the flip side, Mothra can't risk taking a crippling blow as she doesn't have a healing factor. Luckily, that crippling blow should be difficult to land thanks to Mothra's better agility and experience. The former is a given thanks to her matching Rodan in the air, meaning she can probably fly around Mach 1. The Shinden, by comparison, tops out at about 480 miles per hour, 0.6 max speed, meaning Mothra would be 50% faster than something which flew circles around Godzilla. Helping the Queen of the Monsters achieve this is that greater experience. While each have lived impressively long lives, Mothra has canonically fought other titans, like Ghidorah, while -1 Godzilla we can speculate fought normal Earth dinosaurs or sea life, or at best, other Godzillasaurs. He's a proverbial big fish in a small pond that's evolved past the competition, compared to Mothra, who claimed her own title of Queen of the Monsters despite the lethal universe she exists within. Though despite that size, it may come as a surprise she takes the edge in physical strength too. Godzilla's best feat is throwing a half a minesweeper a few kilometers, but even if given the full vessel's weight of nearly 600 tons, Mothra tangled and threw around Rodan, who is nearly 40,000 tons. So while we don't know Godzilla's full strength yet, at least not until the sequel probably reveals it, Mothra should best whatever that threshold is, at least at the moment. What we don't need clarification on is firepower, which the Atomic Titan decisively takes with an atomic breath that outputs something like 21 megatons of pure lethal intent, based on the 6 kilometers of destruction described by the director. The God Rays and webbing are perfect tools for hit and run tactics, sure, but neither can end the fight as quickly or decisively as Godzilla's Azure Light. And it's with that final factor said, the winner of this clash in my opinion is assured, because it's Godzilla's unimaginable power that ultimately seals his own defeat. Not from the recoil upon his body, though that is a considerable factor here. The true deciding factor is the other weakness of the atomic breath: how it detonates. Unlike most atomic breaths which act like a laser, -1's atomic ray needs to strike solid mass for a multi-megaton detonation to occur. In the case of this battle, it means if the blast surges skyward, unless it hits Mothra directly, there won't be a nuclear explosion, or if there is one, it will be tens if not hundreds of kilometers away from the battlefield. And thanks to Mothra's agility and her knowledge of the atomic ray from her symbiotic relationship with the legendary Alpha of her own world, the likelihood of a direct hit is extraordinarily tiny. Now, Godzilla could wait and fire a point-blank shot, yes, but not only could that theoretically kill himself if the charge is big enough, but Mothra can just hit him with the pulse of her God Rays to shut down the charge. If she could break Shimo's concentration, then there is little doubt Godzilla wouldn't have the charge interrupted as well. And without that finisher, it's hard to see Godzilla winning with tooth and claw when he is thoroughly outmatched physically. If her God Ray pulse knocked back a charging Evolved Godzilla, who weighs in the ballpark of 100,000 tons, then -1's 20,000 ton body will be launched far and suffer some serious bludgeoning. Mothra's sides or stingers should pierce the saurian's flesh, helped greatly by webbing which Godzilla will struggle to break. And as the damage compiles, that equal intelligence I mentioned earlier kind of flies out the window as the wrathful god loses himself to maddening rage, just like what happened at the end of his own film. Godzilla's healing factor would be pushed to its absolute limit before the blowback of his own atomic fury is too much for his body to take, giving Mothra a hard-fought and well-earned victory. So overall, I'd give this fight fairly reliably to Mothra, with her better agility, experience, and strength, even though they're pretty much neck and neck when it comes to advantages. Perhaps in the next film, Godzilla's atomic breath will evolve past its current limitation, and we get a better idea of his full strength, which could make this already close matchup a bit closer. Until then, the God of Wrath will certainly burn himself to ash when faced with the Queen of the Monsters' everlasting light. So, do you guys agree with my analysis? Think things would have gone differently? Well, that's great. This is just my opinion after all. But if you were entertained by this clash of gods, please leave a like for the YouTube gods, and maybe subscribe too. And if you truly want to make this channel grow, leave your thoughts below. Until the next video, which should be Hesai Gamera in the MonsterVerse Part 4, and trust me, it's a special one. I'll catch you all next time. Until then, later.